Hi, welcome back to Christine's Health Affairs. It's Monday again, and I thought I'd give you a quick update on how things have been going over the past week or so. Coco's been asleep on the couch for the entire evening. She's a bit of a sloth these days, aren't you? Hey? So I thought I'd bring the camera over to her for a change. I think I had round 8 on Wednesday last week, which was my reduced dose. So there was no immunotherapy. It was just steroids and a chemo drug. And everything seemed to go well for that. After my chemo, after my big chemo week, the previous week, I actually expected to feel really poorly because from the past immunotherapy weeks, I just crashed. On, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the Monday, I would be an absolute mess. And even on the Tuesday and going into the Wednesday as well. So the previous immunotherapy week, it really, really hit me hard. And I was all set for the same thing to happen this time because I thought it would be progressive, and it didn't happen. So Monday was okay, Tuesday was okay, Wednesday was okay, and even the Saturday and Sunday I managed to go to work and work at least half the day as well. So for some reason I didn't have really bad side effects after my immunotherapy week. I still had the numbness and bone pain and, things like that I normally get with immunotherapy. But on this previous week, I just had normal chemo and the steroids, and it knocked me silly. I worked on Friday, managed to get my jobs done then. And Saturday morning, I woke about 5 or so. Haven't been sleeping very well either this week. Although last night I had 5.5 hours in a row. I don't have that. I was so excited. I've actually had a good day today. 5.5 hours in one stint in bed asleep. It just doesn't happen. But I have been up since 5 o'clock this morning. So Saturday morning I woke up about 5ish, feeling unwell. And, I'd got up, gone to the toilet, had a drink and everything. And it's the first time I've actually had to take anti-nausea medication. Excuse me. So I ended up in bed or asleep on the couch for the entire day. So Saturday, I ended up really unwell. I slept, I think, the entire day. I couldn't even get out of bed when Chris went to work. Eventually I did, getting dressed, brushing my teeth, doing all of that sort of thing. It was so difficult. So I ended up staying home for the day. I couldn't get in the car. I couldn't even walk down the hallway. I just had absolutely no energy. So Saturday, I spent the entire day home, bawled my eyes out most of it. Coco was on the couch with me the entire day, and she's very attentive. She knows that I haven't been well, so she just comes up and puts her nose right on my nose and just sits there. But the rest of the time she was just lying on top of me on the couch whilst I slept. So, didn't you, hey? Sunday I woke up okay, but still not very much energy at all. I did end up going to work for a couple of hours. I couldn't do any alterations that were left for me. I pretty much sat there like a zombie most of the time. And I came home early, had a nap, went back to the shop after about an hour or so and thought I'd see if I could get some work done then. Still not. But I did have a lady that lives about an hour away. She is a YouTube follower on my other channel, and she and her husband came in, and so we had a bit of a chat for about an hour or so. So that was really nice. On Monday, that's today, I woke up feeling really good and thought I could go for a walk with Coco and Chris. we went together, and I probably made it about 100 metres from home and had to waddle all the way back home again. Chris and Coco kept on going, and I really just shuffled home. I'd been getting cramps in my legs on some days, so I just couldn't walk anymore, had to come home. But I've actually been feeling better as the day progressed. So hopefully tomorrow I'm going to be able to do a lot more things. Although having said that, today I did manage to replant some garlic, and then I spent a couple of hours peeling the garlic cloves that I've got. I had about 44, I think, bunches of garlic that I needed to mince up. So I've put all of that in the freezer, and even managed to make another pie for dinner tonight. So I have progressively got better as the day has gone on. With chemo last week, I did speak to the oncologist. She comes around and sees me every week, and she asked me if I had checked the lump to see if I could still feel that, and I just said, "No, what lump? I don't have cancer." She just looked at me. I said, and I was joking, and she just looked at me. I said, "I don't have cancer. I'm just here for the drugs." She thought I was becoming somebody that doesn't believe in the process that we're going through. But it's just that I can't feel the lump anymore. As far as I'm concerned, it's not there. I know that there's still a cancer, and I'm still going through all my treatment and everything. But you've got to laugh in the face of these things. So that was a bit funny. But I did have I have been having problems with a cough. So I haven't been able to shake this cough for quite a few weeks. And I did end up having to have a CT scan of my lungs because she wasn't sure if the immunotherapy was causing any inflammation in my lungs. But I did get good news on that, so I don't have any inflammation, but I do have, or she thinks that I might have a viral infection, so I just have to be careful with that and make sure it doesn't get any worse. And if it does, then we've got to do something about that. But it's been nearly a week since I've seen her, and it hasn't got worse. It's just still there. I also had to have a heart scan, an ultrasound of my heart, because the chemo going forward in the next group, after I finished these 12 weeks, there's a new group of chemo, the drugs that I'm taking, and she needed to make sure that my heart is going to be okay because of the issues that I had a few years ago. So we got all that sorted out, and I'll find out the results for that. They'll probably just tell me I've got blocked arteries and all of those things that we get when we get older and have unhealthy eating habits. But we'll deal with that as we have to. And tomorrow afternoon, Chris and I are off to have our flu shots. We did check with the oncologist to make sure that it was okay to do that and whether or not we actually should. She did recommend that, so we've booked that in today, and we'll go and get that done tomorrow afternoon. So hopefully we don't end up getting the flu. I just want to say on the comments that I receive each time I upload a video, I really appreciate the comments that I receive, and everybody's been very helpful. I do read everything, and if you suggest something to me, I do research them. I don't comment back because there's just too many comments to do so, but I do go and research everything that for the information that people give me. And there was something that somebody had mentioned, and I do apologise if I've forgotten your name, and that was about the nasal spray that I've been taking to help clear the blockage and to help with my blood noses and things like that. I did actually research that, and I spoke to the oncologist. I can't remember what it's called now when you use too much nasal spray, and I've just tried to look it up and can't remember what it was. But apparently there's a problem that you can have if you use nasal spray too often and it can cause other problems with you. So I did actually have a talk to the oncologist that day, and it's true. There can be issues when you overuse nasal sprays. So I was just getting on top of everything with my nosebleeds and the nose blockages at night using the humidifier, which has been absolutely fantastic. And then we thought, okay, we'll back off on the spray a little bit because you have 2 pumps in each nostril in the morning and at night. And so we thought we'd go back maybe to 1. I kind of went back even further than that, and that set me back another 3 or 4 days. So I should have just listened to the doctor and done what she'd said. So now I've got everything back under control again, and I think in a couple of days I'm going to start backing off on that again and hopefully not have any issues going forward from the overuse of nasal sprays. But yeah, I ended up setting myself backward and my nosebleeds started getting worse again, and the sleeplessness was getting bad again with only 90 minutes every time I was waking up, and dry mouth. But yeah, like I said before, last night was absolutely amazing. My mouth was closed the entire night, and to sleep for 5.5 hours solid, I don't know when I did that last. It was good. And then when I wake up at 5 o'clock, I was just scrolling on my phone on Facebook for the next couple of hours before I fell asleep again. But that's all good. I got a good night's sleep. And I think the humidifier is probably one of the best investments that we've made so far. It's been really helpful in just clearing the nasal passages in the evenings especially. With the air getting colder, the cough is happening a lot more in the evenings. It doesn't seem to be getting worse, but I'm going to talk to the oncologist about that on Wednesday when we go there and see if there is anything that I can do about that. I'm allergic to penicillin, so I can't have that. Not that I think that helps anyway. I'm not sure what they do these days. But I'm feeling pretty good today, despite having those really bad couple of days this week. I'm hoping that when I go to chemo on Wednesday, that this next week isn't going to be as taxing as this last weekend was. So I don't think I've got anything else to report. Everything's going okay as expected, I guess. I do want to thank somebody sent Coco a treat in the mail. So I've been getting lots of gifts and cards and donations and all of that, and I really appreciate it and thank you. But you should have seen the excitement on Coco's face when she sniffed out one of the letters that I received. I don't know how those treats got through customs, but Coco was certainly very happy about it. I still have the envelope in my sewing room, and it was sitting on a box the other day, and she went and climbed on this box and grabbed the envelope looking for the rest of the treats. She's already eaten them, but she could really smell it. So that was wonderful. She absolutely loved it. I'm going to take photos of all the cards and gifts and put them on the community tab, and there will be a photo of Coco getting her treat. So I think that's probably about it for now. There's really nothing to report. I've had a couple of crappy days and everything else is really just normal. Wednesday will be week 9, so I have 4 weeks left of this 12-week regime, and then I start my next lot of drugs, which will only happen every 3 weeks. So even though I'm going to be up to week 9 of chemo out of 16, I'm about 30% of the way through my chemo journey. The oncologist did tell me the other day that once chemo finishes, obviously I'll have the surgery, and she expects radiation therapy to go for about 3 weeks. That's how it stands at the moment. I've got an ultrasound in a couple of weeks' time and an appointment with the breast surgeon as well. So I'll find out more about the exact sizing of the tumour when I see her and what we'll be doing going forward. So that is it for now. I'm going to go kick Coco off the couch and see if I can have my turn. Cancer's tough, but we're tougher. We'll see you next time. Bye.